Hello everyone and welcome to Team Roulette 3, this one-day event of Providence, where we will find out who is the best team in Roulette. Very excited for this one. 13 teams have entered, which will be very hectic to watch for the next 5 hours, but in the end we will have one remaining after qualifying the semifinals and the final. Uh, to begin with, thank you very much to Janini for organizing and being the host of this event. And it is my pleasure to be a shoutcaster of this with Gunther joining me today. Welcome.
Yes, no, thank you so much for having me. And yeah, very glad to be here and try and make sense of this madness because it is going to be madness trying to keep track of all these 13 different teams.
Yeah, we will no doubt miss certain finishes, but on the general things, we will be able to tell you guys how this tournament unfolds. So on the grand scheme of things, we start with 13 teams. We had 14 enter, but unfortunately, one couldn't make it due to personal reasons. But 13 will enter the qualifying, and it's 4 maps, so everyone is guaranteed to play those 4. And they got the task just half an hour ago to sort out which of the 2 maps they want to play and which two do want to assign to the teammates. Sorry, and as you can see, we start in Hokkaido in just under 10 seconds. And then it is Whittleton Creek, Bangkok, and Haven to decide which are the best 6 teams. And then we will start with, of course, the semifinals and all that stuff. But Gunter, we have a spin going in. Would you want to run it down?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have Eric Soders who needs to die by electrocution while using the baseball player disguise, and Yuki Yamazaki who needs to die by scissors using the bodyguard. So obviously a baseball player part of the spin should be a lot of fun to see how a lot of these players approach this. Um, I can see immediately on our first scene here that Paintball Pros has gone right into it.
Yeah, quick starts from scene 1. And I guess a quick word about teams as well. Uh, we'll have 3 scenes going on. 5 + 5 + 3, I think, the final solution. And so first, about these 5 teams for a couple of minutes, and then we can, of course, go and check the other teams. Consistent Pangolin is the first team that entered. It is the German duo of Julian and Papier Fesse, and they will Julian, a very mm, very good. I'm not sure. I forgot the word. A very competitive sasso racer, joining Papier for this all German duo. Not Pogrock is Rocky Horse and K Kaneta, the latter being the 2020 2021 runner-up of the World Championship. Xbox Master Race is Soviet and Luis, Soviet playing this first map. The Geometry Dash refugees are Mika and Zero, Mika playing the first 2 maps. And the Paintball Pros are Matty Spice and Red Fox, who seems to be awake for this one. Very nice to see, but Matty plays the first map.
Yeah, and there's already so much going on. We can see consistent Pangolin is making their way down to the morgue, has taken care of the bodyguard that's in there, hot swapping into the surgeon disguise. Man, this is a lot to keep up with. But all the players having their own approaches. I mean, there's not even a whole lot of consistency from strat to strat through here, so it's interesting to see different players in all different walks of life and all different parts of the map.
Yeah, I guess a quick rundown of the spin is that the baseball player for Eric is a bit more generous than if it was for Yuki, because of course that forces Sana approach, but also the baseball player might be unavailable after a solar skill. Let's say not too often used aspect of Hokkaido that room is occupied and the baseball player is a hostile disguise, but Eric will be a bit easier to approach this way.
Consistent Pangolin has the baseball player disguise as well, which is a big part of the spin already taken care of. Now he's just got to get himself over to where the electrocution can happen.
Yeah, so obviously it's not the closest in a non-trespass in disguise, but if you are hostile, you are very limited on how you can approach the facility.
There's
And I
going to
guess,
be a restart from
sorry,
Geometry Dash.
yeah, the aspect of this qualifying format is, I guess, more than anything, or more than in other formats, you just want to try to finish because there can be so much chaos around you, and if you lose one place by a couple of seconds, that is 1 point. But if you are restarts behind the opponents, then you might have a lot of finishers between you.
That is very true. And you have it is the first 8 to finish get the point, correct?
Everyone will earn points. 13 for the first
Oh,
finisher,
okay.
and then all the way down to 1. As long as you finish, you get points, at least 1.
Okay,
And
excellent.
yeah, in a 30-minute timer, non-finishes are always an option, but hopefully that won't be the case.
Yeah, and I don't feel like we'll see a bunch of non-finishers here on Hokkaido. Hokkaido being one of the better maps to ease us into this, because I'm feeling like we're going to see everybody at least finish this spin, but where they finish is gonna matter. Consistent Pangolin is working right now on this electrocution kill. I think that they might have got it.
I think that was a cutscene to be skipped, so it is all good for them. It takes a while for the kill to pop up, but oh, I think they will go to the order of prompts have to be changed first.
Oh,
You need to override the operation procedure. It's very specific, and there's a restart, unfortunately, for the pangolins.
yeah,
That bodyguard spotted them.
they're in such a good spot too. Xbox Master Race though is already gotten Yuki Yamazaki down and is in the baseball player disguise and is working on getting the electrocution kill set up for Soders. So looking really good there.
And we can see the first finisher on this scene. Kei Kaneta earns 3rd place for this because we had a couple first try finishers, and Frody7 uh, takes all 13 points in Hokkaido, followed by
Wow.
HITMAN. Those first 2 finishes happened on different scenes, but of course we can't keep up with everything. Fruit is in Team Master and Apprentice with Blythe, the R6 PC champion and R7 PC champion is one formidable duo, and 420 420 joins Oh Shit Man for the 420 O's.
Yeah, I would say my favorite thing about switching scenes is the ads that come up
Oh
and
no.
block some of the streams.
Yeah, it's bad enough when it happens mid-spin, but in this royal format, if you get ads on most or even all screens, it can be much more difficult.
Yeah, sometimes it keeps you a little bit further behind the action, but that's okay. We'll make it work.
Yeah, so let's see who is close to finishing from this scene, and I think we can go to the next one. Xbox Master Race is 1 kill away, and starting the operation procedure and now will mean that
There's the
defibrillator could be
sabotage.
used in 10 seconds or so, and that will be hopefully a finish for Xbox. The other 3 teams are just a bit behind, so once the other finishes from here. One more time for this scene, for these 5 teams. It would be Consistent Pangolin, Julian and Papir Fesse, Not Pog Rock, Rocky Horse and Kei Kaneta, Xbox Master Race, Soviet and Luis, Geometry Dash Refugees, Mika and Zirum, and Paintball Pros are Matty Spice and Red Fox 5000. That would be scene 1, and we'll be joining scene 2 in just a second. And another 5 teams we can introduce.
Xbox Master Race heading toward the exit now. That's still green guns, so that looks like a successful finish there.
and they're out. It's always a bit scary in a hostile disguise, but dodge the enforcers, and there's the finish for them, and that will be 8th place for them. Of course, it is the simplest map of the 4 today, so a lot of early finishes, but that is 6 points for Luis. So let's see if we can get another 5 teams on the board. Obviously, if there are any who are still going on, I think all 3 scenes will have some players in there.
We have a couple going on in scene 3 as well. Buff and Crudy. I think Crudy actually just finished.
Buff and yeah, that's scene 3 actually. And I can see now that everyone has finished on scene 2, but I can just run down the teams and the names, and then we'll get back to more Hokkaido action. It is some random cooking apparatus, unsurprisingly, some random person at barbecue. Master and Apprentice is Blythe and Frody7. TX Punk MK3 is a nice play on Chris X3 and GK Punk. Ducky Arrow is another word play on Pijero and Ducker. And the Young and Restless are Phanium and Tenor 23. And then the last 3 teams in scene 3, and expecting a bit more plays from there, are the Noob Guys, the Buff Guy and TK47, the Miami Maestros, Crudy and Joker J, and the 420Os, Agent 420 and Oh Shit Man. And yeah, the Noob Guys are in action, getting the hospital, the baseball player in the director's room.
Yeah, Buff has just grabbed the baseball player disguise. This is a disguise that you really have to have had practiced, so that you know your routes. Hey, where am I going? How am I going to get this disguise from one area of the map to the other without being spotted? And it can cause some problems. I know it's not my favorite suit to see pop up in a spin.
Oh, it's very challenging indeed.
So who are we still waiting on the finish? We have the Noob Guys, Paintball Pros, Geometry Dash, Refugees, and Consistent Pangolin. As far as I can tell, we're waiting for those 4.
Yes, so it is just TK47 from this side. And then after they finished, everyone else will be on scene 1, so it's the easy choice after the finish. But let's see if they can sabotage in time. Need to enter the room and then use a screwdriver, which oh, I can see now the confusion because Buff was set up by default, and I can see him in the screen, but he's talking. I see his hand, so he's not playing. But it is TK47 who now gets the second kill, and he's going to an exit.
Okay. I'm following. You're right. Yeah.
But that was
His
hard to
DualShock
see.
light is over there. I was so confused because that looks so much like Buff's normal stream setup. So I was like, well, clearly Buff's playing this. I was like, that's a good observation there because I never would have caught that.
I had to double check as well, but that was tricky, yeah. So that leaves us with 3, unless that buffer ripped TK, but I think that leaves us with 3, or actually just 2 players, Julian and Mika.
Like. Right, yeah. Red Fox has just added done to the chat. So now it's just Geometry Dash Refugees, who are currently working on the electrocution disguise. Has the baseball player, and now needs to just get down through the morgue, get up into the electrocution suite, and make that kill happen.
And of course, placement matters, but also finishing matters, because as long as you finish, you get points, or at least one by last place finish. 0 points for a non-finish. They still have 16.5 minutes, and we will actually see, very likely, everyone finishing, which is looking good so far. Of course, that doesn't meant to be a jinx or anything.
Yeah, if anything bad happens, we blame him for fun.
Just blame me for the next 5.5 hours, or
Yeah,
however long
I
it will
think
take, just in case.
I think that's fair. All right, so we have opposite kills here because consistent Pangolin has to go for Yuki Yamazaki, and Geometry Dash is heading for Soders. Geometry Dash doesn't have any more key hacks, which will be interesting if they haven't already hacked into the electrocution room before. Yeah,
That
so they're
seems
gonna have to
tricky.
find a way to get in there, which means they're gonna need to get a disguise that's gonna allow them. But now the camera is still active in this room, hasn't taken it out going through the morgue just yet, and that's gonna be a restart. So we're back to focusing on consistent Pangolin.
Yes, and I am wondering what the what's remaining for pangolins. That's the Yuki kill, right? Yeah. The
Yeah,
second target is Yuki, and she's already down in the sauna. So that would mean that only scissors are missing. But there is a possibility that he cannot enter 47 suite, which is the easy scissors. And we have had some conversations lately if is there a second pair of scissors on the map? Is it carried by someone? Is it in a cabinet or not? I think
right.
they're looking for the hospital.
I'm gonna take a look on hit maps real quick and see what scissors are available based on what's listed. Let's see here. Yeah, so we just got the one in 47 suite, so the other one, if it exists, has to be carried by an NPC. But you are right. Like it's got that 47 suite has to be the easier place to go. But consistent Pangolin with another restart here, and that's always disappointing. That late restart.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a big setback for them, but still half the time remaining. And also chat confirmed our findings that only one is mapped on heat maps, but there is a second pair of scissors. It is carried by the surgeon who accompanies Jason Portman during the
Oh
process of
man,
taking down the bandages.
well, that's definitely not a simple one to grab.
No, I can definitely imagine that replans seemed better, and they are both looking to get this Yuki kill very early. 57 seconds for refugees and 1 kill soon.
Ooh, that's gonna be a loud combat heard there by consistent Pangolin. No,
I thought so too,
I
but
thought I
they
saw
didn't.
them go for the gun. So yeah, that was my mistake.
I guess not. Or yeah, good for them, and they can return for the scissors and get the first kill as well. Refugees are half a meter ahead, but I think they will reach the same timings, just real time wise a bit behind.
Yeah, I mean, this I think is definitely the way to go. You get your bodyguard disguise, you can get yourself immediately into the hospital side of things, get up to where you need to grab the baseball player disguise, and you never have to come back. Oh, but because it's a frontal throw, consistent Pangolin is going to have that heard. Body's going to get found. So Geometry Dash definitely with the better approach as far as knocking out those other two NPCs so that they don't hear the toss. And Geometry is going to be definitely in the lead for this one.
So unfortunate. It is consistent, but just doesn't make as much.
You shouldn't leave that here.
Away
I know.
certain part of the
Yeah,
skull.
that's that is devastating, especially when you dodge a bullet. Like like they did. You gotta imagine that they didn't expect that one to get found. So
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't have time for this cat and mouse.
It's a very decent gondola isolation. Will be tried again. And hopefully a finish in this run, but it is Geometry Dash's
man.
race to win.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, at this point, Pangolin is just struggling to get that stuff taken care of, so...
The refugees
I mean,
have,
Hey, you
yeah,
dropped
we've seen so many issues with this baseball player disguise and getting this disguise moved around and stuff, so, you know, Rip is not out of the realm of possibility. It just
I don't have time for this cat and mouse.
heavily favors geometry right now just for in-game time and real time.
definitely. They have made it in, but will they be able to make it out? They have the tranquilizer in hand, with 2 darts even. Or is it even? Yes, that's a extra because of the seeker, so it's 3 even. Definitely enough to exit, but I think Mika will wait for cycles instead. Checking the one closer to 47,
Oh,
but that will...
so close. He was right by the door. Oh, it's painful. You hate to see that because that's just...
Yeah, so of course the plan was to sneak by them, but that turned around the bodyguards who, if you are in hostile area, still care about you. Of course you don't see
Yeah.
the enforcer dot, but they do count against you still, and if they feel maybe a bit slower than regularly.
Target down.
But that can still
Now
rip
it's
you,
time
and
to soda.
this might have been a situation where the Chanks weren't even needed, but of course they are usually good for safety, just unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, I think that it probably would have been fine if we hadn't seen... If the guard down the hall didn't see that body first. You know, I think he was hoping that his partner was going to see the body, he'd be able to nip past them and then just go, but that, you know, he brought in extra guards, and you're right, just that kind of soft enforcement is what really did him in there.
This time the refugees have the lucky start with the loud side KO, so the guards do not hear it.
They turn around, but yeah, they've moved the bodies out of the way. They do have guns laying around, but shouldn't find any bodies because they shouldn't go forward enough. There's that second gun though that they left right by Yuki, which I'm pretty sure they'll come back and enforce. So I feel like they should pick that up and just get that out of there. Oh, or do this train shot. Yeah, you don't have to worry about it. That body is still far enough down the ramp that nobody should see that. So
yeah, there's not a grace period, but some sort of a safety of a couple steps after leaving the gondola pad. So that body should not be found. Of course, nothing is certain in this game, but
yeah,
the refugees
that's
are
true.
going for the kill now.
You just described the perfect like byline of Hitman. Nothing is certain in this game.
Actually, yeah.
Well, we've got less than 8 minutes left on this spin, so we're entering territory where you know, we're getting to final restarts here. So let's see if these players can fully finish the spin before all is said and done.
It's now the penguin's turn to wait for cycles, and there's a dart gun in hand. Really curious about the approach though. It is still an illegal action to hack this door, so for the first one you have to wait for the guard to turn away, but this might be a tiny window of opportunity when, while the two are together, I think you just run for it.
And that looks to be the plan. Should have plenty of time to get through this door. Get stuck a little bit, but not before the whoosh completely fills. So, well played by Penguin. Believe they've already taken care of the cameras and everything, so they shouldn't have to worry about that this time through. And yeah, Geometry Dash is just slightly behind. They're so close. Okay, going for the snail to knock out these two guards. I mean, that is a good, safe way to get through this.
Indeed, the guard in a hall may see this, and depending on him running towards here.
He doesn't look like he's noticed it yet, but yeah, no, that just, you know, that worked out very well.
This time, he just pretends that he doesn't see.
Yep. Well, Consistent Pangolin is working right now on the electrocution kill.
Operation procedure overwritten.
Oh, but no screwdriver.
No. Unless they started with the sabotage, because I don't even see the prompt. It might have been done already.
I did not see the prompt, but no, there's the cutscene.
Because it didn't even show up in yellow, or it didn't even show up with a tiny prompt that there's no item, so they just did it while we were seeing the snail action. Oh,
wow,
and
excellent. Oh no! Oh, that, I mean, that's... If Pangolin doesn't rip here, then this is... that's game, because... And I mean, Pangolin might have a free bodyguard disguise in here as well. Yeah, so Pangolin basically just has a free shot straight to the exit.
He'll go from the outside. No cameras, obviously, because for the electrocution, need to take care of them. And no enforcers more, so Pangolin will get the 2 points. And the refugees have 5 minutes to score their 1 point. I think that is still doable in this
I think so. The timing is going to be kind of tight. I mean, we see Julian getting out with the time of 6:19. And so, I mean, 5 minutes is a little bit of a lot to ask, especially with all the back and forth that needs to be done with the baseball players, guys. But I think that they can do it. I think they were on pace for something around this time. It just didn't quite work out for them.
So if they are aware of the time remaining, I think they will definitely make it a run, which would take less than 5 minutes. So like a last second finish. But of course that will require some quick kills.
Get a little bit lucky there with Yuki's kill not being heard. Having to wait a little bit for the doctor here, though.
Yeah,
oh man, come on, cut him a break. Just let him
frustrating
go.
setback. Yeah, and as much as you want to get past him, there are methods, of course. Using a gun, if it's pistol or a dart gun, you can disable him for the time being. But I think they want every sedative item for this hospital to get this last run count.
Yeah, you kind of need it at this point too. Now, I am noticing going straight into the hospital side of things. So the cameras are still up. Cameras will be a factor in maneuvering. You can get the baseball player around a lot of this stuff. Okay, they are going to be going downstairs now, which is a good call. You want to take out these cameras as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's nice to get down here in a bodyguard disguise, because you have essentially a free exit bodyguard disguise. But the timing is pretty good here, so they're on pace essentially. No screwdriver grab, I notice.
2.5 minutes. The screwdriver it's okay in terms of you can still pick it up if you are going back up to the hospital. But let's see how this snail works out. So only one will be sedated, but there's a tranquilizer gun, perhaps, if
body got
used.
I don't think that body's been found by the hall guard just yet.
Only this one called it in, the one that is closer to 47. So
yeah, and does get the shot off before. Oh, okay, but we have this guard coming down the hall. Oh, but we do have one more trank as well. So yeah, we'll just put everybody. Oh, but he's woken up the other guard. He's got to get by
Oh
them
no.
quickly before they start to enforce. Oh, but we have another guard coming in. This is looking really bad.
No, this is just one too many guards, indeed. And I guess it is smart so that they didn't make a run for it.
And there's
But this will be
the
red.
Auburn guard. Yeah, that's frustrating because I mean, with a minute and a half, there's no way the spin is getting done. Unfortunately.
No, sadly not so. We will have an unfinisher, but in terms of points, it wasn't as crucial because either they finish for 1 point or they don't finish for 0. So if they
Right.
do have better maps coming up, this won't matter a lot.
Yeah, and frustrating because they had several good runs. They just needed one more thing to go, and just getting that baseball player disguise out of there just gave them too many problems. The camera action that they had to deal with before, yeah, it's not the favorite. But yeah, that's Hokkaido. We're gonna be moving on to Whittleton Creek.
And so I can see if Yanni had any extra scenes which I imported, but not sure if we can show the standings, but we can post the standings in a link format, or I can say it in text. As a reminder, Master Apprentice Blythe finished first for 13 points, and then Agent 420 got second place for the 420Os, K Kaneta and Nose Pogrok for 11 points, third place. And I'm not going to say all 13. I think you can maybe we get a picture up here with the scene change. But the top 6 are so far after Not Pogrok. It is The Young and Restless, CX Punk MK3, and some random cooking apparatus. 3 maps too, of course. For the next break. That's all right, Yanni. Thank you for working behind the scenes.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody say a silent prayer for Yanni, please, because it is lots of spinning plates that also happen to be on fire today. So
yeah, it's hard enough to be a caster for 2 maps or even 2 teams. Now we have 13, so
yeah, I'm not even main casting, and this is a lot to keep up with. So
yeah.
definitely props go out to Yanini for setting this stuff up.
So we had a short break before Whittleton Creek, and I personally will use the time to also change the stream links because
Yes,
try to be as little delay as possible.
I'm working on that right now.
Yes, so I guess it's also best to run it down at least out loud. Julian for Consistent Pangolin will stay for the second map, but Not Pogrok will have a change. K Kaneta out, Rocky Horse in. And I think I used an extra letter here, but now I can bring him up. The Xbox Master Race will have a substitution, Soviet out and Louis in. Mika will stay for Geometry Dash Refugees, but the Paintball Pros will have a substitution and Red Fox makes his appearance. I got to love that Red Fox has a Twitch handle of Red Fox Fight Out of YouTube on Twitch. I think
No, he's a Fanium enthusiast because I believe Fanium has a similar Twitch link.
You're right, yeah. Fanium YouTube, that's going to be nice. So I've changed quickly for Scene 3, and I expect us to start on Scene 2, and alternate map after map. So
Yeah, that sounds great to me.
Bangkok on stream scene scene 3. That's amazing. One and a half minutes until next spin.
Excellent. I am changing my scene 3 stuff right now.
Me as well. Just need to do some better copy pasting. The Miami Maestros are changing from Joker to Crudy. And we have an Agent 422 HITMAN change in the 420 Obviously, I have some questions about how some of these teams are pronounced, but HITMAN did say yesterday out loud, so it's like the Cheerios, like 420 So I'm
That should
trying
be
to stick to that.
that should be part of the sign-up process now. We have phonetic pronunciations.
Perfect.
All right, I believe I am updated. Basically just in time for the stream, so happy with that.
That's perfect. We will get the hang of it by the end of qualifying, and then it gets much easier with just one scene at the same time. But oh boy,
Oh, what a spin indeed we do have here. I
it's
think
I think
that
it's the same situation as the TPI where the consumed is.
yes, so it is possible, but I don't think that it's allowed in Providence spins. And there's the clear on the spin. All right, yep, we'll get a respin here in just a moment.
Going to be a bit easier this way because the teammates will be able to mention
Right.
it to the players, and that gives me extra time to finish up scene 2. I was frozen, like should I read the spin out, talk about it, or just fix some more?
Well, we do have a couple of people into the spin and moseying around, but most of our players are on the planning screen. So I figure once we get a couple of people updated, looks like we have Fanium was still running it, but I think everybody else understand. Yeah, and their Fanium is going back to the planning phase, so I think we're all good again. So we'll get the new spin out fairly shortly.
Yeah, usually not a long break here. Of course, still a full respin. We can't just respin it with different conditions, but there is the next one in just over 2 minutes.
I think that we should make that a Providence event. A Providence event tradition where there has to be at least one illegal spin that gets recalled.
The greatest part is that it's not even the first Cassidy consumed, which you're trying to get past.
I know, that's the best part. It's like it's really they really want us to do that, you know?
I suppose it's the outside forces want us to reconsider it until it's allowed.
And just to remind our viewers, the two banned kill conditions are consume poison and fall for Nolan Cassidy in Whittleton Creek.
Yeah, it should just be a sign of, I guess, the operations, or like the motivations we operate. These are obviously allowed conditions. These are obviously possible conditions, but we just don't feel would be as competitive to have them in in Roulette, where everything can go wrong anyway. And this will include like fire kills in Colorado and Dubai, where of course Dubai doesn't require, or Dubai does require some extra twists, but not in the name of fire kills and the dragging that ensures.
Yeah. Oh, fire kills. Yeah, we should get our spin here in 30 seconds. And I'm looking forward to it. Whittleton Creek is a fun one because Whittleton Creek, I think, it can be a complicated map sometimes, depending on what the conditions are. Every map can. But specifically with the way that you have to go about getting the clues and stuff like that, there's just that added bit of plate spinning going on. So it'll be interesting seeing how these teams tackle all these conditions.
Yeah, for sure. And what kind of spin we got here? I'll try it again. This happened before that a Nolan consume turning into a Janus consume. This Janus consume poison as James Batty, and Nolan casted silence pistol as Garbage Man.
Okay, wonderful. I mean, yeah, this one's definitely doable. It's nice to have a consume poison kill for Janus. You can see players set that up and then go about the rest of their business because Janus takes a bit to get to his poison. So I'm wondering when we'll see that kick off.
Timing, of course, very interesting for this one. Should be just under the 3-minute mark when Janus dies the earliest, provided no proximity conversations are triggered. I think it would be like 255, or I'm mixing it up with like a 315 or something, but that's the range about.
We do have some members of chat pointing out that this could be quick. Yes, of course. Yes, indeed.
This could very well conclude with a Nolan Garage isolation, because there's not a lot of Janus setup you need to do. Probably just want to get the Garbage Man from that side, and then get over to James Batty, get the disguise, and wait until Janus dies.
Yeah, and in the meantime, you can go about getting your clues and stuff, especially if, like you said, waiting for the Cassidy garage isolation. You've got some time before he gets there. You can conceivably have everything taken care of while you're waiting for Nolan to get to where he's going.
Yeah, very good point. I think like the time it takes to set these up is very generous. Now, for some individuals from scene 2, I was just stop for a second because Frode,
Yeah, I know who it
from
is. I was just
Master
wondering
and
who he
Apprentice,
is right
from
now.
the
Maybe I should rank him before.
also well-known clan suit,
Did you say you brought Secret? I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't know.
went for a bodyguard
So,
isolation, or like
he might be on a bad
distracting
cycle.
it so
You
that
get back
he
over
could
there, but I think you'll
poison
have plenty of time no matter what.
the tea. But it just
I would
barely
say
didn't
when you
work
go to
out
get
with
the
the head turn,
photograph,
so he would have to restart.
play it safe
Which
and hide
means
the guy
that
in the
we have
basement if you knock
3
him out.
runs
They might drag Janus down there.
around the 1.5-minute mark.
I
This guy's kind of
really
shit as well.
I'm really digging the play by Barb there, getting the early peekaboo
They also
on
might hide him
Nolan
in the
into the
garage,
garage as
so-
the garbage man.
Yeah,
He's
I'll
got
probably
that
hide
kill
him too.
down, and he's still well in time to get the
You're gonna
consume
have plenty of
poison
time
kill.
on Cassidy.
Looks like he's going for the Batty disguise right now, so that he can just take care of all of that right away.
Yeah, so he probably won't
Yeah,
die
and
until
even
like
if
320.
he's late for first
because of the
cycle,
proxy trigger, but just wait for that.
he
Yeah,
can
it's
get the
not the end of
clues
the
in the
world.
It's
meantime.
gonna hit the ground.
So yeah, this is looking pretty good.
Okay, so I watched back the
That will be the
match,
only
and you
kill
said
on
play
this
orange
scene.
on this guy, 'cause
Punk
I
from CX
I
Punk
have taken the
will
shot
be getting
probably
his last
hundreds
clue.
of times.
And judging by the disguise,
I've never
Betty
Oh, I don't think
probably
I've ever
starting
ripped.
the
I
other
was
half
just
of
saying
the
that I
map.
wouldn't be surprised if it happened. I think.
He has set up the consume poison now.
I'm actually
Or
kind of
will
stupid.
he do it in
probably
the next
should
few
have-
minutes? I don't think so. I think it's already set up.
Never mind.
So that
I was
will be a
gonna say there's a
Janus skill
different
for
way.
him.
They
And
could have made this a little bit easier, but it doesn't matter. You can just get the.
I guess Young and Restless could have something similar if they started
Yeah,
around the
so
garbage man side.
You hit this guy, you should be safe, and then just run back over
Young and
the
Restless going for the clues right now.
What the fuck? I wasn't expecting that guy to be
Looks
there.
like
Nice timing there, yeah.
some random cooking apparatus is making their way over to
come
the
this way.
Janus household. Probably get the last clue
He's
there,
supposed
and
to
obviously
move
set up the
After he's done
poison
with
kill.
this conversation, he's
Most likely
fucking
gonna miss
sitting
this
there.
first cycle.
Oh.
Just took a bit
Oh.
too long
Oh
getting
god, I
getting
was
Batty out of the
so
way so
much.
he wouldn't get
Wait,
found. But
Janus is dead.
Ooh.
Holy shit!
it's,
I
it's still
Yeah,
not
he's
the end of
realized
the
how
world.
much time
If
I wasted here.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Just
yeah, we'll see.
try to
We'll see
Sorry
where
avoid
they,
phone
that,
where
that
they
calls
was
go.
a
if you can.
stupid move. I can't believe I didn't get spotted there.
Two
No, you're good.
two major talking points.
Oh shit! I'm gonna trigger
GK
this
Punk,
next
CX Punk got the Janus kill down, and two very close whooshes, but
Okay,
he's
as long
now
as you
in
don't
an
trigger the phone
untrespassing
call, it
area
doesn't
as
matter too
Betty.
much.
He'll just need his garbage man, who is
He should
isolating
be in there.
himself
Oh,
every once in a while. I think he's just leaving, so that will be a challenge to get in
So,
time. And other
I wanna
than
get
that,
back
Bro.
in here.
looks good
Yeah,
for
back in
Garage.
there.
And Pijero from Ducky Arrow
There you
has
go.
Guess what?
everything set up
Snail.
except the poison kill, but this might just be a second cycle. But what will be poisoned here?
Where's Nolan right now?
Bit of a dodging around. Oh, and he needed a muffin
How's,
to
walking?
place.
I don't know if
Then the poison for the last kill.
So you're good.
And now it's just get through an exit
Yeah,
and
so
wait.
just wait until he starts moving towards the garage.
Yeah,
and he should be fine.
I wonder if the muffin has any different timings, because
I don't know.
the tea doesn't have any triggers. You either get it in first cycle
No
3
duns
minutes
yet.
or
I'll post it for
after
you
everything
when you're
else is done, which would be 7-8.
I can leave the garage door, leave it open.
If
We
you
have,
if
Frodo
you're
with a
running
bit
like
of
straight
big
to the
whoosh
exit,
there.
yeah, but however
She's
you
here
wanna
at
do it.
5:30, I think.
Punky is making his way over to the Nolan garage right now.
I usually close it
Good
anyways.
use of
but I
map
don't know
knowledge
if
to
it
stay
matters
out
or not.
of the proximity to
And
not
for
trigger
yesterday, left
Cassidy's phone call there.
Janice or left Cassidy at
Get
like
him
the
there a
very
little bit
front of the
quicker as
garage,
well.
and she didn't spot him anyways.
Yeah, I've done that too, but I don't trust my luck in.
And we have a
actual
race on our
tournament
hands.
Okay, so
GK
headshot
Punk
him.
versus
and
Phanium.
looking at-
The
You
third
might want to KO him
in the
before you
top row and the
shoot, but-
second in the bottom row, both only
Yeah, you
looking
got it.
to kill Nolan, and Punk has the kill,
I'm
all
ready to
objectives
post
down,
him for you,
closing the
in case you
garage
want
door,
me.
and going to an exit. And I think Phanium is doing the same, and it
Nobody's
is
done
now
yet.
down to just
Yep.
stream delays.
Just a foot race. Yeah, I mean,
So just
and Punky
tell me
looks
when
to
to
have
hit
just
it.
a slight edge, but in-game time favors Young and the Restless.
Let's go.
Ooh, and just barely coming
Yes.
in
First,
first,
baby, check
Chris
mark.
is able to
Let's
type
go.
done for Punky
I think we beat T
right
by like
before
0.2
T-Nort
seconds.
types done
I'll
for
take it.
Phanium. So we have our first two
Let's
finishers.
go.
Both very nicely caught on this scene.
Yeah, that's big.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
The
we are about to
hero
have-
is taking
was,
5, waiting
I mean,
on
it
that
would have been
Janus
faster if I
kill.
didn't do the.
yeah, and we have another photo finish.
Yeah, they got the. They must have
we
done
don't have
the
photo finishes,
earlier
but in
tea
the-
setup and poison.
In the general sense, the close finishes, I guess,
Yeah,
will be
it's like-
happening in the first column,
right after
and
the
Barbecue and PG. Both looking to get that second cycle poison kill. I just
might have been that.
it
Sure.
will be down to those nuances if Janus steps 2 extra
What?
steps.
And yeah, that's the thing, right?
Looks
I'm
like
not
Janus
sure
was
if
on the
Janus
first
sees
floor,
the
so we should be
muffin, if
seeing his
that's-
coffee
that's
cup
something
here
he's gonna
soon.
go
Hopefully he
for
doesn't have another
immediately, or
phone
if
call
he's just gonna go
with,
through his regular cycle and
Helen.
go
Looks like
for
he's
that
sitting
instead
down.
of
Is
the
he
tea.
sitting down?
So we'll find out here soon.
Yeah, he likes to sit down for a bit.
Oh, come on, Janus. You gotta work
He's
on
an
your
old man, you
stamina.
know.
But so far, those are our only two
Old
finishes:
man, you
is
can't
Phanium
fault
and
him for
Punk.
that.
Yes, I can.
For
I'm a
the Young and the
speedrunner.
Restless
Oh,
and CX
okay, fair
Punk
enough.
Mark III, respectively.
I can and I will. Okay, standing up.
Nice.
Done having a little sit, a little rest.
And we can see the
Nice.
distraction in the
Where you
picture in
going,
picture, and
Janus?
it
See the-
does seem
see the
like
beverage.
the muffin
Muffin
takes
is prioritized.
priority.
He's like walking
Okay.
towards his
Yeah, no,
kitchen,
and
I
that makes
think, till we
sense,
head to the
'cause that's
back
what
porch.
you,
We
that's
should
what you
see
press.
it
We do
any
have the
second
done
now.
from Ducker in the chat.
Is that it?
I'm unsure.
And Dakiero takes third place. Just
Can't really
behind,
tell if
it
he's
will
in the
be the
kitchen or on
noob
the
guys,
porch.
buff posting done, and taking 10 points, if my math is correct.
Oh, I think he's doing it.
You are not wrong. So it looks like on scene 1 we don't have
Nice.
we don't have
Yes.
anyone finished on scene 1 yet.
Get ready to
We
hit
have one
done.
team finished on scene 3, and
Give
we
me
have 3 teams finished.
Done.
4 teams finished now on scene 2.
Okay.
So that would mean probably scene 1 is
Nice.
busiest again,
Nice.
but I think you could check out the third one and the teams there and see how they go, and then if they finish quickly, then we just loop through. And it is indeed a scene 3 with started with 4. Yanni set up with 4 teams, but it has to be just 3 after Beads and Penguins couldn't make it.
Right.
And we have the finish from the noob guys, and decently
Yeah.
looking run by 420 News.
Yeah, it looks like 420 knows is in a slight advantage, especially with that Janus kill going down first cycle. Now it's just a matter of getting the garage timing for Nolan. And waiting on the garbage man disguise right now. Now, where's
Round the
Nolan
corner,
heading?
and then
'Cause
try and
it's
lure
far enough
Cassidy
away.
over.
He might
Jeez,
already
fuck,
be
what the
going
fuck
into
you
the
do, mate?
garage
You have to
at
knock
this
him
That
out.
point.
feels like an easy way out for a man like
He
you.
is
I mean?
working.
No,
He's gonna go
he's-
into the
He's
Yeah,
garage though.
he's still
Okay.
We are
he's
close
he's
now.
still
No. He's only just
delayed
come
in
out
his
of his
cycle.
start of his house.
So
He's right at the start of his cycle.
Oh fuck.
I was
Okay.
You've
it
got that's what I mean.
actually
Go
looks
lure him in
like
right now. He's
as
got no
if
guard to VIP.
he was walking down the
Okay,
stairs.
You take out
So something really delayed
fumigator,
in
you
his
can lure
cycle, but
him with a chain law.
it's really hard to see on these small screens. And mine isn't
Yeah.
large in OBS.
I mean, run out, knock the fumigator out, and then chain law.
Some
Cassidy
question mark on the guard.
delicately.
Some
And we have an
device
approximate date
was
as well.
put in the
I think that's all
mailbox.
we're going to get.
I don't know who even because that guy's still there.
We're
with
close
it.
to the finish line.
Thingy mind, isn't he?
Maybe.
It's
Wait,
time
this
to
is going
end
from bad to worse.
this.
Janus is
Yeah.
dead. Janus is dead, yeah?
Well,
Yeah.
Miami Maestros is still working on setting up that poison kill, clearing out the kitchen in order to do so completely unseen. But at this point, you've also got Janus and his bodyguard down in the living room area. We do have a finish from Julian on scene 1 as well. Papier Fries has just entered that in the chat.
And Papier entered this chat as well. So.
The first annual
And
game
they are
is
allowed to
not
join
society.
the stream. Nice to see the viewer number increase as we
If Janus
get to
was
the later
That's
half of the streams, because
perhaps
of
he's
course
still
they are
alive
watching the
in
other teams in.
47. This could be valuable information.
And that's what's so exciting about this event, is being able to actually tune in and see how your team is placed, and kind of have that knowledge ahead of time.
It's a very fascinating mix. It's of course a competition, and we try to make it set with certain rules, but other than that, it's just a great big party with the teams having fun as duos, and then of course battling against each other.
We do have a finish from Maddie Spice as well, so that's for Paintball Pros.
And then this delayed cycle just fascinates me, and I will never know what HITMAN did to Nolan to delaying my 3 minutes. It's either a lockdown early on, or the gun rack, the gun case
Yeah.
being damaged.
Just something. We also have a finish from Master and Apprentice as Blythe types done for Frody. So our second scene is completely void of non-finishers.
Yeah, nice
feels like an
job by
easy way
scene
out
2,
for a
and
man
it
like
will
you.
also be a nice competition to see how the scenes compare against each other, at least on
We are
the
close.
average point
Yeah,
wise, because
oh,
of course.
Now,
what a great
47.
angle. I never really thought about that. But yeah, it'll be interesting. That should be the competition. Which scene is best?
The meta team competition, like smaller teams and bigger teams.
Yeah.
The Maestros with a Matic strat got Nolan in his bathroom, and it can be wall hacky sometimes, but looking really promising for that Semis pistol kill.
Timing is pretty good
And
for
that
this
is
too.
Nolan
I mean,
Cassidy
that's
taken care of.
borderline garage
Both
timing.
targets are confirmed
Mhm.
killed.
Guys, don't deceive me.
It'd be really competitive, of course. The exit is a little bit further from here, but I think you can just cheat the system by using manhole exit, and he's going right towards the
Looks like
crowbar.
that's where he's heading, yeah. Yep, he's already got the crowbar. should be fine. There's not really a whole lot of eyes around this NPC. So that's going to be the exit for Miami. 420Os
Please
just
don't be.
working
No.
on
Oh, fucking hell.
Oh,
Oh,
is
no.
she
no.
reporting that?
No.
What is that lady going?
Fuck's sake.
Bro, alright, listen,
Bit
follow him in
concerning.
there, yeah? And then shut the door on him.
Yeah.
And kill him. Like, knock him out.
But
shut the
Nolan
door,
does
go
seem
out
to be
back.
isolated here, and 420Os will get the finish with the kill. I will have to be back in 2 minutes though.
That was way
Yeah, no
close.
problem. I'll do my best here.
Okay, fine.
And that is
Fucking
no
hell.
incapacity taken care of.
I just saw
Both
that.
targets
was
are confirmed
way too
420Os is going to be able to get out of
Okay, fine. Okay, where's the nearest
of
exit?
Nolan's
Let's,
backyard and is
just go
just
through that
going to
window
book
and
it
out to the
toward
right.
looks like the bus stop exit, or is he
Down
going to circle around to go to the bridge?
This is closer, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be the bridge exit.
That fucking troll guard there.
Excuse me, sir. Are you?
Damn, bro.
That was way too
Just
close.
say when you're done.
And that's going to be the exit there for 420Os. Alright, I believe we only have one team left.
Lasted for too long as well. Fine.
That's not looking good.
And that is going to be not Pogrock, who is finishing up their
Way.
final
Are you
stream,
kidding?
or their final bit of the spin.
Looking even better in this second map than Hokkaido, but I did have a small sort of jinx, I guess, early on in Hokkaido, but
Still
So it
plenty of
is-
time to get this spin in.
So did we have a finish from the Xbox Master Race? We did before the 420Os, so just seeing the points updated, so Rocky Horse will be gunning for that 1 point and a finish.
Hello. How are you today?
That's the
Yeah,
poison
so-
setup.
The poison setup is good to go. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this plays, because I think that they've been able to get the poison set up consistently so far. I think that the problems have been after that has happened. So has plenty of time to go and get the baddie disguise, but we'll see how they set up the Nolan kill as well. It's interesting to look at how these teams have fared point-wise. Do we have a total? Do we know who's in the lead?
Black furniture will help.
Or is it up to us to do the math?
I think the results page in the sheet would be automatic, so it means that the CX Punk MK3, thanks to GK Punk only, are on 22 points with Chris X3, hoping to score just as many to secure some good position, but Punk really impressive so far. Tied for the lead with the young and restless Phenium taking 12 points just now and T-North taking 10 in Hokkaido. And the rest of the top 6 would be Master and Apprentice, Blyden 47, Ducky Arrow, Pigeon and Ducker, some random cooking apparatus with Barbecue scoring 17 and Random coming up. And then the
Janus
420
is
on
apparently
14.
engaged in a civil lawsuit with another resident of Whittleton Creek.
It's very,
James
it's
Batty,
very
the
interesting to see how
plaintiff,
this works out,
wants
'cause
Janus to
420Os,
stop his annual landing of a
obviously with the
helicopter
late
near the
finish
local
here, but
creek.
still very much
Batty claims
competitive
it
because
interrupts
of
the
the strong
nesting
finish they
birds
had in
and a
Hokkaido.
species of frog that has
So,
been declared
going into
endangered.
Bangkok is going to be,
Must be a very
I think that's really
important
going to
trip,
see,
given his
it's
poor
going to be where
health.
we see the separation in scores, but it's also going to be some of the other players' last chance to
End to
get a
Janus.
good finish in order to score some points.
Death
for the
feels
team.
like an easy way out for a man like
Not
him.
Pogrock though, able to get
Still.
the poison kill while this guy's his baddie.
We are close now.
One more clue,
47.
it looks like. And timing is working out so that they should be able to get the Nolan garage kill here.
If they can get a garbage man, that's even quicker, but I think then now the plan is to just get the isolation and then run for a disguise. If they are aware of the situation or not, either way, no rush here, just get that green gun exit.
Yeah, because I mean, right now they're tied for 8th with 11 points, but if they're able to take this, then they will secure 8th with 12, and that'll be a good place because they're really only 2 spots out of the top 6 at that point, and that I think that's going to be good for them, especially going forward. So, probably not the result that they were looking for here on Whittleton Creek, but if you can get a finish, you can at least hang your hat on that much.
Every point counts. And we have no idea how close it will be around the top 6 mark, or how many points are needed.
And especially with Haven on the docket, you know, that can completely change the way that we're seeing this stuff. All right, they've got Nolan completely isolated. Most likely seeing a quick garbage man grab here.
There is this popular garbage man who cycles in and out. It's a trespassing area. I'm not sure he is an enforcer or trespassing or so, or enforces the trespassing as well. So peekaboo opportunity. But Rocky will get this disguise, and constant meeting confirmed is the clue that's missing. That should be the cigar box. So
you gotta imagine that's gonna be on exit. Yeah.
Yeah, everything gets ready, and the finish should be here in just a minute or so. And couple of minute delay with the respin, but we should be getting that back with an early finish.
I do like that extra caution climbing in through the window to get into the garage instead of risking opening that door and having a body found. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen, so just being extra careful there.
Yeah, very nicely done. One clue remaining, and you're not even trespassing here anymore. Not sure about the frog habitat, but people don't ever lose runs here. Yeah.
So much cover, so I feel like this is looking good, you know, barring catastrophe. With our caster's curse.
Trying our hardest.
Now it's just finding that specific prompt. There it is.
A cigar box with a few cigars and a note inside. Well,
this will see Rocky being out. Can I already see the confirmation? No, not yet, but any second now. We will have our 13th finisher, and I guess that can be classified as a clean sweep of some sort. Everyone getting a finish in.
Yeah, well
under
done
22 minutes. It's very impressive.
And we have a little bit of a delay between now and the next match. In the meantime, we're going to take a look at our results page here. So as you can see, CX Punk Mark III is in the lead, tied with The Young and the Restless, I should say.
It just needs a refresh here, but yeah.
Then we have Master and Apprentice, Dakiro, some random cooking apparatus, and 420os, all in the top 6, which are those who qualify if the match were to end. Right now, if the qualifiers were to end right now, those 6 would be the ones that moved on. But still plenty of time, still plenty of Hitman for everybody else to catch back up.
And we will catch up with some more link changes before Bangkok, which will come 38 past the hour. So it's a good 6 minutes to make some changes. I think 3 teams are keeping the same, so it's going to be a lot of copy pasting. And we got the opportunity to go for a short idler. I think we could take it.
Yeah, sure. While we update our own scenes and stuff like that. So everybody out there, go grab your coffees, do whatever you got to do. We'll be back at 38.
And we are back with map number 3. Second half of qualifying will begin just under a minute, starting with the calmest of scenes, scene number 3. And now the really tougher maps begin, with first Bangkok, which is considered to be the slowest, hardest to target map. Then Haven Island will decide eventually which 6 teams advance to the semifinals. Gunter, how does it feel so far to be in this?
Oh, I mean, it's lovely. It's like being showered with lava. No, it's wonderful because you get to see so many great Hitman players, and I really love the collaboration. I mean, the Hitman community is so wonderful when it comes to people helping each other out and stuff like that. But to see competitors actually get to work together, it's just it warms my coddles. It's just so lovely. What teams do we have here on the third scene?
And we haven't banned it.
Just 3, and it will be the top left corner for the noob guys, and the buff guy will be taking these 2 longer maps. The Miami Maestros have Joker J joining, replacing Crudy after map number 2, and another switch back and forth in the 420Os, and it is Agent 420's turn in Bangkok, which the scene is here now. Gunter, if you want to read it out.
Oh, I absolutely will. So we have Jordan Cross code with a loud SMG while disguised as hotel security, and we have Ken Morgan with the Sapper's Axe while disguised as the groundskeeper. So
hotel security,
that's going to be some fun. We're going to see some maneuvering of the Sapper's Axe around. Jordan Cross with a loud SMG obviously causes some issues because I mean, there's plenty of setups that you can do for this, but the fact that it's a loud SMG can cause some problems.
The Sapper's Axe will be a nice journey in the second half of the run.
Now, is the Sapper's Axe, is that concealable in a briefcase?
On the map, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, we should be fine.
I think
Sapper's Axe is downstairs.
I think it is, because I remember an X which was the exception to the rule that X's cannot be concealed, and I think it is the Sapper's Axe.
Yeah, and I know that you can conceal the hatchet as well.
Yeah, that's definitely means.
I'm really enjoying Miami Maestro's play here. Some very suit-only stuff, getting up to Jordan, getting that early peekaboo.
Oh, almost getting a attention from the crew. I think that was diverted in time, and Jordan is going for this strong peekaboo because it is a weapon on the back of 47, so should be a good isolation. And the second run, of course, when the disguise is ready. But that was a crime notice. That body was just found by those cross bodyguards.
Fuck's sakes, get going, bitch.
Buff is gonna drop the snail here in the recording crew room to grab the letter for Ken, that early Ken isolation, getting him to go downstairs, grab him in the exterminator room.
He's the enforcer here, so.
It's not Hitman if you don't bump into random.
Might just be 3 different. Yeah, sorry. It might just be 3 different approaches here. The suit only for the Maestros. 420 starting tech crew and probably isolating Jordan in his bathroom. And the noob guys should be kitchen staff from the beginning, which would mean a cake topper for Jordan and the same first cycle for Ken with the letter.
Oh yeah, dude, fuck, that would have been super frustrating.
Yeah, I think I like 420's isolation here. Probably the best because you have a chance for a quick body dump. Obviously, you're going to be in a trespassing disguise, so getting out might be a little bit more difficult, but I think that is one of the safest early ways that you can get Jordan.
Oh, you did use the snail, damn. I was going to suggest using the snail on the 2 guys.
What's good about loud guns for Jordan is that the closest NPCs are all civilians.
You're right, yeah, they'll have to run to get a guard, so we'll have plenty of time. Now,
hotel security.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we're seeing here.
Yeah,
With the
it's
setup
just
from
that
Miami
the hotel
Maestros as well,
security
is
gets
they've
enforced
got
so hard
Jordan
down here.
there,
Yeah.
and there's a potential for a quick dump, but as that body
Well, I don't
falls, it
recommend
can be seen
panicking
by
them.
these people in these hotel rooms. So that's gonna be interesting to see how it works. But 420 is also gonna grab the letter, so that's I mean
No, he's
that's
not.
really really clean play.
bullshit.
Getting the isolation on Jordan, and then
He's a
grabbing the
useless
letter as
fucking
well to
outfit,
get
man.
Ken.
OS is
Like
garbage.
that's gonna give you
Just
probably the
garbage.
best course of isolations right off the bat, and then it's just a matter of gathering your kill conditions.
Yeah, if this was a card game, I think the best starting hand is to have Jordans in some way isolated,
Yeah.
and then
I guess, shouldn't I? Nah, fuck, that's not safe.
and then a Ken letter for the
this
first
guy.
cycle. But I think 420 is just a bit
that's
late
very
for that, because this Enforcer being a gatekeeper, and I think an extra strength shot was utilized to move him away from that
actually good
208. So Ken is late for first cycle, but
So around what time you need to go for
these kills take a while, so I think it's just reorganizing the steps. Don't even need to restart, just
What's that?
or,
what
prioritize
time
Jordan
you
for the
need
time
to
being is best.
make it to Jordan?
Yeah, Buff has completely
Well, he's getting
cleared out this room of anybody who
they're
walks
getting ready
through
to
it,
sing happy
so
birthday to him pretty quick here.
he should be able
I think
to
4:30
leave
is the
Ken here
appropriate
without a
time.
problem. The
See, this is
hard
the
part's
problem I
going to be
have
he's
is-
got a lot of bodies out, and he doesn't really have a soundproof way to deal with Ken right now. So this is going to be... Well, he should be fine if it's just a Sapper's Axe, but because he's got to throw it at an unconscious body, I'm not super keen on how he's going to do that without it being heard by those security guards down there. So he's either going to have to take them out, or he's going to have to drag Ken back up. It's going to be interesting to see what he does there.
Nice to see you. Keep walking.
Yeah, Buff is now looking for a groundskeeper, I think. Hopefully the bodies don't fall in a way to cause red guns. It doesn't, so there's the disguise for Buff. And basement. Nice, thank you for the confirmation. The Sapper's Axe is concealable, so
Oh,
a
wonderful.
basement
Thank you,
run
Lemon.
for... Yeah.
Yeah, Miami Maestro. I still really enjoy this strat, but it is riskier doing this this suit thing. And I mean, it is a good Jordan. It is a good early Jordan isolation, but the fact that you have to kind of do all this doubling back and stuff can cause issues.
I'll take a closer look.
We have our first finish. Unsurprisingly, it is Ducker, who is a big maestro or master of Bangkok, so probably took a first try 6-7 minute run and takes 13 points. And where were Ducky Arrow before that?
I think that they were 4th or 5th, but they've since skyrocketed. They're now in first place, obviously, with that, a full 9 points ahead of CX Punk and the Young and the Restless. So obviously, CX Punk and the Young and the Restless can retake that first place position if they have a better finish before the 9th place finish, but or the excuse me, the 4th place finish.
Lots of points to grab, and Buff is restarted and trying to see on the replay. It's late for something. Or
420 with the SMG kill. He's gonna do a quick dump here and has to get out of this bathroom. I don't see any panic guards around here, so I think he's got plenty of time to get out of there.
it is so the closest two are one door and quite a distance away. So it is maybe possible that it's just outside of range for them.
Oh,
and
I mean, he did take the shot from the corner, so maybe that is a more soundproof corner.
yeah, the two doors apply to the other couple, but other than that, I think every meter counts. And just as far as loud kills go, Jordan is very generous. So
Sorry, buddy.
that's one objective down for 420, but another one appears because he gets caught on cameras.
Yeah, Jordan could live
We just saw Buff take care of the cameras here too, just to alleviate some of that. Oh, Buff is going for the Jordan isolation on here. Now this I also like because this is another place where you can do a loud kill dump, but it's a lot easier to get that disguise in there, and the security guard is not trespassing there. So as soon as you do the kill and then dump Jordan, you get out of there. There are closer guards, but it's pretty safe. So
I just saw something. My hunch says we are not alone.
this will be interesting to see how that works.
Yeah, as hotel security, you won't be trespassing on the rooftop.
Right.
But I think that would be something to consider in another disguise. But it's 1 floor below the action.
Okay, is that real?
And
It is real.
maybe a nice exit for him.
We're clear.
420 is doing an elaborate setup to try and get these guards moved around in order to take out these cameras safely.
Come on, give me a break.
And this is what we say when we mention that the cameras is another objective for Bangkok. It's such a setup to get rid of them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's either that or a risky gunshot, which can work if you do it early because it's not going to be too much. But obviously, 420 taking the safer route because you don't want to be doing something risky when you're 6 minutes into the spin.
It's probably nothing, but I'm gonna take a look anyway.
And this was the second cycle letter. As we've seen, it was just a bit too late for first cycle. But at 7 minutes and 15.
Here's the kill from Miami Maestros. He's going to dump the body over the edge. Nobody saw it on his way down. Perfect.
That is Ken the
All right, I was very nervous about that.
It's a big moment for them indeed. And huge step towards plenty of points. I think...
Yeah, do we have any other finishes at this point? We have Lewis typing done and GK Punk typing done for Chris. So CX Punk will retake their first place spot with that third place finish.
It's even more impressive considering I think Chris had a technical difficulty at the start.
I think the Chris Punk team is just very, very powerful.
Yeah, I do think we will.
Across the board.
Yeah, I think we will talk about them more because they are fairly certain to reach the semifinals at least. But right. Chris is the reigning Team Roulette champion because he and Meme won the second edition in September. And as far as Providence goes, JK Punk is the reigning champion of the first event, awesome. The Providence Invitational. But lots of great teams, and qualifying is great as well. But when it comes to the elimination matches, it will be just sick to see who advances and who gets behind. So we have no HUD on 420's side, but we have seen every major part of the run. He got the loudest SMG kill as hotel security, and now he has the groundskeeper disguise. And he was in the security disguise for a long time, and that is because he got the Stepper's Axe, and now gets the second kill. Bit of a delay, but there's the second objective, and can now head to an exit.
He's already taken care of cameras, so he doesn't have to worry about those down here. He's nearby this this basement exit, so it looks like we're gonna see a finish from him here. Lots of bodies out to be found, but not enough time for any NPCs to wander where they shouldn't be. That's going to be an exit. Well done, 420.
And that is 4th place and another 10 points for the 420Os. Big restart for the Maestros. Couldn't quite see which body was it found. I think there was no picture-in-picture, but end of the run, getting ready for the second kill. Quite heartbreaking for them. Have to restart from the beginning with that shiny suit start.
We have some random cooking apparatus finishing as well. Barb typing done in the chat.
So we have
Maestro Still struggling with this early suit setup.
Yeah. I think we have 3 or so finishers from scene 2, so we can check on the rest, especially given that we have 2 early restarts here. Just check on the other scene I was mentioning, the scene number 2. Let's see if I'm right or wrong here. You can see some Haven already, but it was expected on.
So in the middle column here, we have Master and Apprentice and Young and the Restless. Young and the Restless is they're working on getting this this Jordan isolation, but the audio lore isn't going to bring Jordan where they want, but they should be able to get this peekaboo, and it'll kind of depend on where they want to lure him from there.
The second cycle peekaboo will work out for T-North from Young and Restless, and the other player is Frothy from Master and Apprentice, who is starting this, well, not starting because he's now 2 minutes in, to the Exterminator strat, which we haven't seen on the other scene, but also really viable Bangkok strategy.
Oh, that's not fair. He was so far around the corner.
Damn, and he runs to tell someone else that it's a restart for T-North, most likely.
Oh, yeah. 6 minutes in, no less. That's just awful. And he saw him through the wall, essentially. Like there, I don't think that you can salvage this.
Yeah. Once there are exclamation marks, the information is usually spread. I think T-North will try this because...
I mean, nobody else should get turned amber, but it doesn't mean that that like they aren't told, I guess. So yeah, so we'll see. Like maybe he'll get green guns back after killing Jordan, but I don't think so. Yanini pointing out to us that Frody was actually one of the first, but he ripped right at the exit. So, so yeah, it just kind of shows how many restarts have happened here, and how much time that's taken. We're now, yeah, it's he's starting a bit on the back foot here. Pidgey asking, how did Frody rip? Yanini, if you have a moment to tell us how that happened, please do.
So until we get an answer, just I guess a quick word on this Exterminator strat, which is really fascinating for Bangkok, and it was originated by Frothy, so no hard feelings, I guess, or nothing stolen, nothing shared. But it is his idea first that you start security and lure the Exterminator into a corner with a Chang. You get a disguise and you can talk to the hotel manager about the extermination, which brings Jordan down, and in the meantime you can get the letter right before the first cycle, so that's both targets in motion in time. And we can see that everything should be decent for this Jordan kill at 4:15, and then Kenny awaits down in the basement already.
Oh, but he's gotten spotted as he's dumped the body. Oh my gosh, that's just not fair.
I set it up so... I tried to set this strategy up because it's so good, but it does have these Warhacky spots, apparently, which I didn't even remember.
And he's gotten back to us. He had to delete the cameras, so he went up there in the security disguise, but he was considered trespassing because of the exterminator lore. So because of the camera action that he dealt with, had to go take care of the cameras, was now trespassing because the exterminator lore. You can't be up there in the security disguise, and yeah, that's oh, that's rough. That's so rough. Because obviously, like, ideally you avoid the cameras, but it's not always guaranteed to happen.
T-North, though, is back to green guns after the Jordan kill. That was brilliant recovery, and apparently the extra exclamation marks didn't make a difference because no one else was aware of 420 being in the wrong. And
he never got seen by another NPC, like even glanced at. So I mean, maybe he caught that and knew, because he was hovering over that restart button for so long. So yeah, kudos for understanding how the game works in that logic.
Did I say 420? Yeah. It is a 47 who is. That 420 shouldn't be in this recording studio either, because it is only for this crew. But I imagine there was some team talk between T-North and Phanium about restart or not, or try it, and I think that's the rule to reconsider. If you're not orange and no one else saw you, it might just be worth staying around.
Yeah, I mean, right there, proof is in the pudding, because yeah, I totally expected it to be, okay, I got the Jordan kill, but it doesn't matter. And there's a tuk-tuk exit for T-Nort. So excellent recovery, especially with just the nonsense of that Jordan wall hack. Like, that's not one that I see very often, but just well done at keeping the cool and getting those green guns back.
And very important 6 points for the 8th place. We'll also put them or keep them in semi-final contention. What do we have at the moment? They are 3rd with 28 points, and doesn't seem like anyone will catch them because everyone around them have finished already.
So they're looking really solid, you know, and especially only 5 points behind first place, so they can still take the top seed if they get a decent finish in this next one. You know, it's very. I mean, it's not as high scoring as some of the previous rounds have been. Obviously, finishing Hokkaido with 10 points and Whittleton Creek with 12 points, but still very strong. Finishing at with 6 points. You know, that keeps them definitely in competition up top.
And I guess the positions, the seeds matter slightly. We'll talk about it a bit later, probably as we are getting into the semifinals. But the main goal is to survive the qualification or the qualifying process, because it's just such a grinder. 13 enters, 6 advances. Can be really brutal.
And another done in the chat from Not Pogrock.
So that means just the paintball pros remaining on scene 1. I'm not sure about their technical situations there. I think I wouldn't want to go there, but I could imagine us going back to 3, maybe after this float run, because it's going to be a very high, very good in-game time run. So change my mind on typing that.
And I'll take a look. Miami Maestros is still working on the initial Jordan setup, and Buff is currently in the basement working on the Ken isolation here.
So, Fruity looking out for all these NPCs who are more likely turning here if they can, because they do hear it, but no one is close enough. So that will be the Jordan kill down. Lots of attention, of course. The guards are arriving,
but crucially less attention than before. So you're in
just the right amount of attention. Yeah.
Yeah, we've got Ken is already isolated down here.
I mean, I know we're only supposed to talk about the ongoing maps, but it's brilliant on Randy's side in Haven. I'm not sure what you're looking at with the blending in spot. Just amazing as they are getting ready for Haven.
Yeah, a little disturbing, but you know.
This will get demonetized at this point.
Can we blur that, Yanini? Is there
thanks for all the things you do for us, but come on, we can't. Yeah, listening with the blur. But anyways, Fruity getting ready for the second kill now. Just needs to disguise.
Does he have his axe yet?
He just went to get the axe and turned back here, so I think it should be now next to Ken in the linen room.
Yeah, he's already got the isolation set up. He should be able to get this kill, no problem. There it is. There's the dump. And should be good to head straight for the exit. So a really, really clean run once it got going, but obviously just the unfortunate rips there. And so late into the run, too. Like, that's the discouraging part, but that will be a finish. And I believe the only scene we have left is scene 3, where we have Buff and Joker who are still trying to get their runs completed.
So yeah, wait. Oh yeah, you're right. Indeed, two to go. Was a bit confused about some scores, but now we have it. And where we started is where we finish this Bangkok. Oh, it's only 5 minutes to go, so let's see about the implications or who can finish. 1.5 minutes for Maestros is looking a little thin, but
And
if this
you'd have to have a
peekaboo
really
for
good in-game time.
yeah,
I'm good,
so
thanks.
Jordan
I'll
is
walk down in a moment.
isolated now, but it will require something really quick for Ken, and then still going up there. So I think the attention is now on the buff guy. If he can finish it in the next 4 minutes, that is a really ballsy area, but cannot get past without getting caught trespassing. That will be a tie, or that will be a non-finish.
He knows he's too far gone at this point, and yeah, he's not going to even go for another spin attempt at this point with only 4 minutes left. That's got to be so frustrating. And yeah, I mean, it's not often that you have to get to Jordan in the upper level, so like it's unlikely that you've got, especially a player of Buff's caliber, you've got a plan for that right off the bat, because you already know many safer ways to get him, you know. But you're this late in the spin, you kind of have to force something, and that's what we see there. But yeah, cutting across the recording studio floor is just so risky. I was surprised he made it much further than I expected. It would have been really cool to see him get all the way through that.
I think he was aware of the timeline or the time running out, and he wanted to be as quick as possible, considering there is only 3 minutes left, or like 4 at that point, and he knew that he can't really wait for cycles, so I think he wanted to do some extra risk here. Yeah, so it didn't work out.
Oh, and yeah, Miami Maestro is going to get seen dumping the body over the edge there because of this reporting crew's timing, and yeah, I mean, at this point, you know, with only 2 minutes 30 seconds left in the spin, I don't think they're going to see a finish from either of these teams, unfortunately.
No, sadly not. But 11 do finish. Yeah.
Hold your fire! He disappeared!
Oh, okay, some scoring adjustments, but so it will be a third one. Not sure about.
Command, do you copy?
I won't type it yet, but what's happening in the first scene? Who's playing for the paintball pros? Because I don't see Red Fox live, and Matty has. I think Matty changed. They switched because of technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think you're right. So Matty was supposed to play Bangkok.
No sign of the target.
From my understanding.
But he's not online. I think something came up, and we do have 1.5 minutes at least too.
He says that Matty is playing.
Under Matty Spice 04. Who was playing? Okay, I will fly now.
Apologies. pressure of that.
The snake's gone hiding. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I am.
So we have 3 non-finishers.
Okay, that's it.
Just a tiny bit of change, and when it's over, we'll see the results, of course. And the implications. I think a lot of teams can still make it, and I think most teams actually can, which is the good part of this scoring system.
Yes. Yeah, it's all going to depend on finishes here.
He has 30 seconds, of course, and Puff is trying to finish with at least one objective completed in essay, but not much else will happen for him, unfortunately. But Haven will be, more than anything, his home turf. The Big Five,
Right.
of course, is where he lives.
I feel like Haven is going to be where we see the most changes up in the scoreboard. You know what I mean? Because you can be good, you can be bad. It doesn't matter when you get to Haven because that map doesn't care.
Oh, that's very nicely said. Yeah, very unfortunate. Haven being like that, but it's also a good challenge.
It's a great
And-
challenge.
And now we
Alright,
have the
well,
scoreboard.
Taking a look at the the results here. So I mean, yeah, I feel like top 3 spots are very, very solid right now. But you know, there's only 10 points that separates the 1st and the 6th place teams. Once we fall out of that, you know, 7th place team is only 2 points out of qualifying right now. So if Xbox Master Race is able to finish 2 spots ahead of Master and Apprentice, they can potentially jump them and move on. Consistent Penguin, same thing, is only 6 points out, so that's just 6 places. Not Pogrock, same thing, 6 points out. When you get down to noob guys, you're starting to get a little bit further. You need a 10 place placement differential, and so I don't know how likely it is, but still in the running. Definitely not out just yet. And so yeah, we've got a really close competition all the way through, but you know, the top of the scoreboard has been looking strong. CX Punk has been looking so strong on all their maps so far, and I'm expecting to see that continue. And Akiro has improved their placement every single map so far, so it's been interesting to see how this stuff has been playing out.
And what I could say for the teams who are outside the top 6, I could really find something for all of them, because Xbox Master is just only 2 points out, so it's almost a coin flip for the top 6 spot. Papier Fresse is yet to play another map. Kekaneta is a very accomplished player, especially in Haven. The buff guy, obviously. Jirun has shown great Haven skills in his first R tournament, and then Red Fox and Crudy can still pick up some wins here and make it really exciting for the top 6.
And in the meantime, while we rush to swap all of our sources and make sure that we have the right streams, we're gonna go live with the next spin at 15 after. There it is. You can see the timer. So in about 4.5 minutes, we'll see the next spin.
Okay, now we are feeling safe.
I will be right back in for fun. Just gonna pee real quick.
Yeah, we'll make room for it. Take your time, no worries.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey. It's And yeah, I can read it out now. Tyson Williams injected poison as waiter, Stephen Bradley scissors as lifeguard, and Ludmila Vetrova a folding knife as doctor.
So this is wonderful for a multitude of reasons. First and foremost is Tyson being a live kill. That causes so many changes in strats, because the easy thing is to just do the early isolation on Tyson. But now having to get him live, it's going to change the way that we see these players approach it. Plus, getting the doctor's guys and the folding knife is going to require going down to the server room. So there's going to be a lot of map movement just on this spin alone. So it'll be interesting seeing how these players go about this.
Tyson live is just such a different dimension to the Haven spins. The all important Villa staff start is non-viable at this point. So
no, not at all.
You would finish with Tyson, not start in this spin. And the doctor and the folding knives are worlds apart down in the server room and next to the main start. And blanking on the scissors, but at least the lifeguard isn't difficult disguise.
Yeah, where are the scissors? Let me take a look at hit maps for you in for fun, and I'll let
Thank
you know.
you.
Okay, so there is a pair in the villa, in the secret office, it looks like, and there is also a pair in the manta ray hut, which is where they get the doctor disguise.
So it will work out with the doctor.
Yeah.
If they get it early enough.
If they go to the doctor's hut, yeah, which they should, because like the doctor's gonna start moving around like the 7-minute mark, 6-7-minute mark. So I feel like they'll get there well in time.
Now I think I have James on all 5 screens and Yanni as well, so we are good to go. And all of the teams are good to go. No early restart here, and green guns on all ends. All at least a minute into the run. And just try to find something here. I think the only common point is, of course, none of them have started with the Tyson isolation, but at least the Geometry Dash refugees are starting with the folding knife.
Yeah, we see not Pogrock has the doctor disguise and the pair of scissors as well. Grabbing them from the hut, and so looks like this is going to be, I mean, gathering all the stuff that you need so that you can, and still meeting the timing of the individual targets is very, very crucial here. So the more that you can gather, the more that you can have ready to go. Obviously, Ludmilla and Steven, you can have down and just prepared, and then just swing back to them. The hard thing for all these players, I think, is going to be the live kill on Tyson, just because of the nonsense that is the villa.
Yeah, it will be a very particular strat, I feel. Well, one of the particular strats, because like a religion, there are 2 main branches to isolating Tyson, at least the specific stuff. And one is being the server lore, when you use a poison or not, but usually you do use mimetic poison to pull out the server X and bring down the remaining targets, which would probably be just Tyson at that point. The other being the peekaboo for Tyson. If you are in trespassing disguise, you can bring him down to the main gate if you are standing under him when he uses his binocular. These would be like the two very specific threats, but you can also just approach the top floor of the villa, and specifically the cinema, which is where he takes place at 7 minutes. So I think these are the threats to look out for in a couple of minutes.
And we're seeing so many different strats for getting these individual targets. Geometry Dash Refugees has made Steven sick, and is currently working on his isolation right now. Paintball Pros with the early panning strat to get Ludmilla by herself as well. And then Consistent Pangolin is in the lifeguard disguise now, but has a doctor disguise nearby. So again, like I'm really enjoying the gathering of all the different items that they need. There's the scissors lifeguard kill for Consistent Pangolin, and yeah, that's taken care of.
We are already seeing some of the strats I mentioned. The server lore for Not Rock by
Yeah,
K
he's
Kaneta.
got the waiter disguise all good to go as well. So
it is almost 5 minutes for him. We didn't pay obviously too much attention to each individual screen, but wouldn't be surprising to see the other targets already isolated. But I guess we'll see if 3 targets will run down, run/walk, or only Tyson.
yeah, and that is also true. Like, you know, Kaneta with all the targets still up might very well just try and isolate all the targets here and then just bring the kill conditions to them.
Also very nicely viable approach. For now, though, he just needs a crowbar to get the folding knife. And probably have to get rid of that one villa guard who's occupying that room. I think the briefcase is for personal guards. I guess we'll see if Tyson will pick it up either, or Steven, who's the first one here, and all 3 targets are coming.
Wow, he's cooking. I mean, that's fast even for Steven.
But who can resist a good briefcase?
No one, not even Steven.
Some manipulation, but doesn't quite work out, and I think it will be now the guard who reacts.
Yeah, definitely. Okay,
Oh,
so
Steven.
that's...
Okay.
Is it really? I'm surprised.
Me
both
too,
for
because
proximity and enforcement.
Exactly.
But I mean, this works out pretty well for not Pog Rock. Right, Paintball Pros has made it up into the cinema, but obviously can't get through this screen here. Wonder how they're gonna go about this, because they've got the disguise. They're obviously gonna go for the Tyson kill here.
Mm-hmm.
But has some clearing out to do. Has a lot of clearing out to do if you're gonna try and get around all these bodies. There's like 6 NPCs you got to get around.
Yeah, and very open area as well.
Yeah.
The guards downstairs can see up here, at least during the fall animation when you dump Tyson out. But the Paintball Pros have a clear way to at least this bathroom, but there's no door here, and the whoosh is here and becomes combat, so it's a restart for Red Fox.
I've made that same mistake before, because they look like doors. They should be doors, in my opinion, but they're not doors. It's just big windows, so...
Yeah. Why would you not want to leave the bathroom for that nice view? It's
yeah, I know.
apparently not the case. There will be some replanning for Red Fox and some mapping for the pangolins. I think it's Papi Frest who's looking for crowbar to get the folding knife as well.
I will point out on screen 3, Buff Guy has just had a restart significantly into the spin, so that's going to put him on the back foot.
Unfortunate for him, and without that, no doubt he would be one of the quickest finishers, but probably not as many points then. We'll see how many, of course, and if that's enough for advancement. So, some progress on the other screens though. No kills for Pogrock, but very promising server lore, the Xbox Master Race, who is I think Luis this time around, is 1 kill down, 8.5 minutes in. And with the most objectives, though, it's refugees, Zerun, only missing Tyson, and he's looking for Emetic Flowers, so that will be another server lore, but just one target.
Yeah, and I think that you're right. I think that this is the strat that you pointed out, where if you take out the other two targets and then you just have Tyson for the server lore, that's probably going to be your best bet for a live kill. And I mean, obviously, we're seeing a 9-minute in game time, but this is essentially first go. I don't know if they've had any restarts, so this can be very, very good if they can see this through.
And they need a huge push. They are 11 points behind 6th place, but if they do get 13 here, they are in the game, especially with non-finishers inbound.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So the Pangolin, with some interesting plays, I think it's looking to get a disguise here. But shouldn't be a waiter in here. I would think within the grounds it would always be Villa staff. But the Pangolin turned around and will keep going and didn't quite see what the strategy was for.
Pograt going for a peekaboo on Tyson in the server room. Has gone for the server lore here.
The final target has finally made it down here. I think.
Oh no! Oh no! Geometry Dash is gonna get spotted by one of the tech crew.
Oh.
From the stairs, and that's gonna be a restart, and that's devastating. That was the closest that we had to a finisher at this point, I believe. Checking the other screens now just to make sure, but yeah, that's so disheartening.
They were looking really good for a good finish in Haven. But already 12 minutes down in this spin. Is that really true? No finishers in 12 minutes?
Yeah. I mean,
this
it's Haven.
Haven nerves.
It's Haven with a live kill on Tyson, so like as if it wouldn't have been complicated enough. This is going to make it more complicated. I do think that the server lore is the way to go. We've seen it mostly work for most of the people so far. Master and Apprentice currently working on the live kill on Tyson. Quick check to make sure that no bodies are around. This might be the first successful Tyson kill that we've seen.
What is there? I guess I can check very quickly how many objectives they have. Oh, of course they are paused at the moment. So only Vetrova remaining for them, but I'll go back to scene 1 because we have 2 really promising runs in this one. Pogrok with only Tyson down, but arguably the hardest kill out of the way.
Right.
And
I mean,
Xbox Master.
Where are the do we know, is Ludmilla? I don't think Steven's been isolated yet for Pograk, but has Ludmilla been taken down?
Yes, around the corner in the server. So I think everyone is now isolated.
Perfect, yeah.
Just the disguises are needed. Kaneta very safe with this isolation. You used to be able to just KO the lifeguard in the chair and hide him, or people used to think that is 100% consistent. It is not. You can get ripped, and I think 12.5 minutes in, it's a safe approach to lure him into the room.
Yeah, definitely.
And we have the first finish. This T-Nort, I think, done on behalf of Fenium, but I'll just double check again. Yes, it is David. It is Fenium first. And takes 13 points. And
wow. That's
41
huge.
has to be enough for not just top 6, but top 3 even.
Oh, for sure. I mean, right now they're currently in first place. Next closest is CX Punk with 33 points, so that's 8 points behind. So
they are confirmed to be through, but the seed, of course, can change, and it is up to CX Punk and Ducky Arrow. Still trying to hold on to this scene one because we have been with them for so long. Let's see if they can keep the green guns with this attempt. Luis 12.5 minutes in, not getting the lure on Tyson. Second item on the floor. I think that should turn him towards 47. And there's the peekaboo. But turns red and could turn into a lockdown, compromised on the stairs.
He's on the stairs too, so it's not like you can just aim your gun right now. Oh man, I don't know if you can get to him in time. Oh, and there's the punch.
The punch from right behind, actual 180-degree, and so devastating for him.
Yeah, he didn't have the prompt, which makes sense. Ooh, that was a huge whoosh. That was almost 100%.
Oh boy.
Pog Rock. He's got 2 kills down. He's on his way back to get the Doctor Disguise. Once he has that, I think he's already got the folding knife. So then it's just going to be a matter of getting back to Ludmilla.
Well, depends on where the Doctor is, and I think we've seen them in the Doctor Disguise already.
He's got it, yeah, right there. Had it set up in the bushes.
Important news from the second scene. Frody finishes second place, or is it Blythe? But Frody's team.
I believe it was Blythe.
It is Blythe, scoring 12 for Master and Apprentice.
That's good, because they were already top 6, so that should secure them our second slot.
Yep, 2 spots down, 4 to go. Which 4 will take it? And only 30 minutes to decide that.
Paintball Pros finally getting to Tyson to get this live kill, but not quite being able to get behind him to get the prompt. Oh, and that's going to be a restart anyway. I thought that they were going through the animation, but they might have the guard might have been aware of what they were doing or something. It did take them a while to get there.
Yeah, it might have been something like that. I didn't watch, or I wasn't watching because not Pog Rock was finishing and will be taking 3rd place with that. Right in front of Chris X3, who is also down, and will score a 4th place finish. And implications are huge, but not sure how much I should spoil. Would suggest to go to scene number 2, maybe. We have a couple of ongoing runs there.
All right, excellent. Yeah, so we've got Dakira on this one, and I believe Random is playing for Random Cooking Apparatus. Yes, indeed. So
2 runs indeed. The significance of this is they are the highest placing non-finishers. Dakiro 4th, Random Cooking Apparatus 6th. So should they finish decently soon, they can confirm their spots. Should they not finish, they are in the hands of the other players.
I mean, when you go out the door, it usually unlocks. So.
That's true.
Unless it's key card.
So stakes are high for everyone involved. I think only the 4 teams can rest who are through, and everyone else is sweating in these last 10 minutes.
Potentially.
Very much so.
Ducker is throwing the coconut at the lifeguard. You see no yellow suspicion bar, but you can have it through that door, and he's hesitating, so he's also aware of this being kind of iffy.
I know, right? Imagine.
But this will be
Just
2
make sure the
Steven kills
the
in quick
right
succession.
head
This
and
is
let her
all the Random Cooking Apparatus
Okay,
getting
so now
first
you're going
kill,
to get
and the
that
Takiero is
waiter
up
and
2
resort
now.
staff pacified, switch into waiter, head up through the villa.
Yeah.
Leave waiter disguise in the room, and then approach the villa as Dr. Singh.
Randy He is looking for a waiter disguise
I'm not
from
sure who
here.
leaves. I think it's the resort staff who leaves. That waiter stays in there the whole time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And
I
he
just
gets a
want to
lure
wait.
on someone outside.
Sure.
Oh, and of course, immediately when I do that, he walks
It's
up.
the
Or he walks
It's
away.
the resort staff who gets out. I wonder if
Is
the
safe
time
to eat
window
over
is
here?
enough to hide him.
Probably not.
I think that is still the question mark. Although
It's gonna be tight.
consider it very risky, and I think, yeah, resort staff is already back, but that is the way that this guy is secured for Randy.
Oh my
Seeing,
god, that was
on
a real
scene
clench.
3 here. We have
Clench
Buff
moment there with that
with
disguise
another
change.
late restart.
Now you will have to
which
go
is
back
just,
there at
I mean,
some point to
devastating
get
at
into the
this point.
doctor
420
saying
is
this
12
guy,
minutes
so he
into
may
the
be a
run,
factor again.
and Miami Maestros with another early restart, only a minute 30 into their most recent run.
Like
There
half
is
the teams
the
are
Tucker
in
finish.
Ducker, so
can feel it
Joe with
in my
the
bones.
stun in the chat there.
Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of finishes rolling in here soon. I'm pretty sure. But
So now it's
we're
just Randy
poised to be
on,
one of those
on
people.
scene 2 who we have left
One of those
to finish.
teams.
Do I want to?
Yep, and Luke is remaining for Randy. Scary part of the villa, but the cameras are here. Has to change
camera
cover already.
Yeah, and he's got those red guns, so we won't really know if he's being seen. If
So what you
want to
do
by
here is do a
cameras
toss
or
distraction,
not.
like
I didn't see
right
any whoosh
outside the
there,
door,
because
to
he is
make that red
trespassing,
guard
he
look
would
in
have
your
had to
direction,
deal
and then
with,
let him peekaboo you a bit as you run in.
the cameras somewhat spotting
Want to do a
him.
little bit more.
There was a
in front
little
of the
whoosh,
chair.
but the sun was shining right there, so it was
There you go. And he should see
hard
that.
to see.
And then let him peekaboo
Gets
you.
a peekaboo inside.
And then
This is gonna be
run in, and then
this is
he
gonna be
should
tough.
be good to come in. He may
gonna have to
stop in
basically
front of
wait
the
out this
door, just hide behind the
peekaboo,
bed,
and then
just
go
stay
for
behind the
the
bed or that
knockout.
wall, and then he may stop there, which is fine. Oh, that's good. You can
Or
you can
throw
KO
from
him
cover.
normally.
Yeah.
I think
Just
that
like
has
to
some
have
risk. I
turn
think you
around.
have to wait until Garth turns around.
Oh, but yeah, he got wall hacked
Yeah.
there. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
a dangerous
Wow.
room to
What?
Yeah.
have a body or have a knockout.
What
and
the fuck?
not
Are you
even
This is
kidding me?
brutal. Why would you?
Right.
Which part would you
This
think was
fucking game, dude.
seeable in normal circumstances?
Yeah, and I mean, and
Unreal.
I don't see a world where 7 minutes is enough time to get this done if you're not well into the spin by this point. So
That is
we'll
some
take a look
bullshit.
over at
Those guys
scene
saw
3
through
now.
just too many.
420 ring is still going, which I'm really hoping for.
And
Because that could be crucial.
He's in a decent spot here because he's just got the Ludmilla kill left. He's got Ludmilla isolated. Has to get the doctor disguise. Does he already have it here? He might actually. Yeah, there it is in the corner there. So.
Yeah, so it is HITMAN, yeah. I was a bit confused which player is it, but the custom spin in top right corner is a nice indication that it's OHS, and looks to have everything for this final kill.
There's the folding knife. He's the doctor, being very careful to make sure that no NPCs around can possibly see this.
Or hear it, or smell it, or basically
Or
anything. You
or
never
anything.
know.
And yeah, and double checking again, making sure that nobody's coming to investigate that sound either. So very, very cautious play, even down to just hovering over the trigger before actually throwing, making sure it's locked onto the right NPC. So
Listen here, pal. I'm sorry.
that's going to be an exit.
Very nice, very safe, and I just make the difference here with 8 points scored in Haven. Only 5.5 minutes to go. It was expected to be the hardest one.
Yeah, I mean, Buff is a couple minutes in. Miami Maestros are a few minutes in. I think consistent Pangolin is probably the closest to finishing. I feel like others are gonna have a difficult time actually getting a finish.
I think so too. I think we don't see it on stream now, but I could see the timer just zooming down from 25 minutes to 5 as they were looking for something.
It goes so quick, especially this late. And Yeah, there's no restarts at this point where you're getting this done. Yeah, so consistent pangolin has a chance here, but with only 4 minutes 40 seconds to get the live kill on Tyson, it is going to be a bit of a struggle, but still doable. Just yeah, it's going to be interesting seeing how this happens. So grabbing the waiter disguise that's already been set up for him. Now it's just a matter of getting over to Tyson and getting him injected. I wonder what we're going to see him do here. Obviously, Serverlore's a potential.
It is a potential, but 4 minutes to go. The server lord is a grand strategy. It may take longer than 4 minutes is my concern.
Yeah. What I wonder he's gonna have to force this to get up there to him, but I don't see a comfortable way of doing that. There
I feel
is
like sorry.
there is something that he could do regarding the tech crew wall hack, where if you have the tech crew or whoever comes out of that door leading into the lab, if you have them tranked underneath, he will come down to that room, send a guard, and he technically can be poisoned there in a trespassing disguise, but it's still not comfortable. So I don't know if that's something we're gonna see. It looks like he's coming up here to the cinema, but how's he gonna get through here?
My worry, as he's looking through the inventory but finds no explosive, my worry with this is that everything that you mentioned, including the cinema, requires Tyson to be in the second half of his cycle or the other half of this cycle, and it just won't happen in the next 3 minutes.
Oh, and there's a body found too. No.
That settles it. It was really difficult timing-wise either way, but it is still very heartbreaking, and I think the pangolin won't make it through with this rip.
Yeah, you're 100% right there.
So I was scrolling through, and it is really hard to find anyone with close enough finishes. We have Buff Guy and I think it is Crudy on this side, both with a decent runs, 6 and 7 minutes in. Oh, Crudy just gets a non-target kill anyway, so that is the end of the Maestros. So it is now only the noob guys. The Buff Guy, can he finish Haven in the next 2 minutes? Can he get the Ludmilla kill? Ludmilla is walking, but the sheer distance between her and the doctor, and the best case scenario is if he has the folding knife, but I'm not sure about the Tider.
I don't know. I mean, Buff obviously has one of the best in-game times so far with just Ludmilla left that we've seen. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna take some doing, especially just given how long she's gonna take to get down to the bathroom.
If by some miracle the doctor is here, that's the necessary optimization here. But I just grasping at straws. I don't think the NPCs were isolated here. 7 minutes, the doctor may be already going, so it's not even a quick grab.
Well, and it would put the doctor like around here at this point, but I don't see any disguises on the map. He's gonna go ahead and grab the banana just so that she KOs herself. But yeah, just with a minute left, like you're right, there's just too much back and forth remaining, unfortunately.
Yeah, tragic. And he's going for the folding knife anyway, so he would have needed a couple extra minutes, not just this one.
Dang.
Haven Island, Tyson live kill, folding knife.
Oh man,
no surprise that it took long, but what a spin, yeah.
What an awful way for it to all end. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We only have 6 finishers. Which is insane. And those 6 finishers are currently our top 6. Because obviously like those points are better than no points. So
Haven makes a difference. Haven was actual decider.
Such a difference. That is that's devastating, you know, because I mean we saw some really strong play I mean, some random cooking apparatus. Was in the top 6. Was doing pretty well, playing very consistently across the board, but then can't get a Haven finish and drops them to 7th place. You know, that's just that's devastating because that means that they're out of the qualifiers at this point.
They are out, and we'll see in a moment if we'll have a results. But there is the official top 6 now, and quite fascinating indeed that the 6 teams that finished Haven, they were already in a good spot. Not the actual top 6, they were close enough up there, and they were the ones to make the difference and advance to the semifinals. No ties here either, so looks like no tiebreakers are needed anywhere actually, which is good. Just waiting for some confirmation until the results are officially out. And then we will enter the semifinal phase, which is something to talk about as well. 3 teams going on at the same time against each other, and only one advancing to the final. And okay, so the oh no, perfect. Now we can see it as well. TX Punk MK3 with a combined total of 43 points advance. In first seed, they win qualifying, winning a map and scoring a 3rd, a 4th, and 5th place finish is very impressive from them. 2nd place is the Young and Restless, Fenium and T-North, so scoring a win in Haven and making them jump all the way up to 2nd place. And then it is Ducky Arrow, Pitcher and Ducker advancing in 3rd place, Master and Apprentice, Blythe and Frody 7 in 4th, Agent 47 and HITMAN 420 are 5th, and clinching the last spot with a clutch 3rd place finish in Haven is not Pogrock, K Kaneta, and Rocky Horse made it to the semifinals.
Such a close result. Such a close result. And you pointed it out. It's the 6 teams that actually finished Haven that were able to move on. Obviously, if we didn't have all those finishes, there was a chance that somebody who didn't finish Haven would still be moving on. But yeah, just too powerful. And I mean, not Pogrock with that finish. I mean, that was a fairly decent placement, seeing the company that they're in, to jump themselves. You know, to have basically like a last place finish at Whittleton Creek, but still have 2 high scoring finishes where you get 11 points each. Like that's really what propelled them forward. So very good company that they are keeping. But yeah, just devastating because that's not how you want to go out of a tournament for the teams that were eliminated, where you don't even get to finish your final map. But way to persevere all the way through, everybody who was able to finish Haven and move on.
Yeah, some very nice different results in the top 6. There are the consistent crushers, of course, towards the top, and 4 maps were won by 4 teams who occupy the top 4 seeds. But there is some a nice 2nd place finish by the 420s and 2 3rd place finishes by Kaneta and his team, who wouldn't have qualified all alone. So he needed Rocky Horse's 6 points to make the difference. Good teamwork by them as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I really want to look at the top 2 here, CX Punk and the Young and the Restless, because 3 of their finishes were double digits in points, which is the best results that we have at the top of the scoreboard here. Like that's just solid play all the way through, you know. They stayed consistent all the way throughout. It didn't matter if it was a short map, if it was a complicated map, if it was an easy spin, if it was a complicated spin. They had those points, and the final score show at 43-41. Like, they earned those 2 spots. They're the ones that I think are going to be the most terrifying in the semifinals.
They do seem in the 2 top teams, and as a result, they will end up in the different semifinals, so they can't meet up before the final. Will be also very interesting to see if they can both make it through, because now everything is going to be flushed away. The only advantage that they will have remaining is the order in the bands and the picks, because we will have picks in the second phase of this day. And all you got so far is just a big refresh and use your seats to the advantage. And as Yanni has started typing, as Pijero has just started asking, we will have the combined pick and ban phase, because the order will be 6 bans and then 6 picks. If someone bans it, then it can't appear in the semifinals at all. And starting with the 6th seed, not Pogrock, they will ban maps first, and then 420O's Master and Apprentice, and so on and so on. And the reason is that we can't have any duplicate maps. We have played 4 maps today, and any map that appears in a game cannot be played anymore later on, be it in the qualifiers or the semifinals or the final. So I think we will start with that. I'm not sure how it is going to be for us in terms of breaks and idlers. I can keep talking, just not for half an hour.
All right.
But we get the signs to go to an idol now. So I would wrap it up here, and I encourage everyone to come back in 20 minutes or so when the semifinals begin. And yeah, thank you, Gunther, for joining me for this afternoon, and we'll pick it up very soon now, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Excited for it.